Hey guys, I just realized that I've not made an intro for today's video. As you guys already have read the title, today well, I am. I am challenging myself to read a new to me author. That's that author. I tried to read one of her book last year and I have a physical copy of that book last year that I bought, but I didn't know that that was actually a sequel. So I really don't understand where the story was going, and because she has a very unique, beautiful writing style, I really couldn't get into the book because I didn't know the backstory to it. So I put it on pause. It's still in my bookshelf, but this year I decided to pick up one of her books on Kindle. Now I am reading the second book by the same author, also on Kindle, and that author is Haley Pham's a new found favorite author, and said author in question is Vari McFarlane. I'm always looking for a way to just kind of like try around new things. I've been trying to just get out of my comfort zone, do things that I wouldn't normally do, if that makes sense. I try reading different books that are not really in my comfort zones. Like, you guys know, you've guys seen my bookshelf, it is full with romance books, and I think this year is going to be the year where I just kind of leap out of that comfort zone and try new genres. And that said genre would probably be literary fictions, because I really admire authors who write literary fiction, such as Gabrielle Zevin. I read her book of Tomorrow. I love that book so much. I read it 2 years ago. I can't believe I've read that book 2 years ago. That seems like a really long time ago, and yet I can still remember parts of that book. Oh my. Yeah, I really love that book. I also really love Emily Henry's book, which is like more of a women's fiction book, and then Catherine Center as well. I've just been loving her writing style, and so I think I am going to try to explore more of the literary fiction and women's fiction genre this year, but not hold myself against reading romances. Of course, I will continue reading romances because that is my favorite thing ever, and it is a comfort to both my mind and my soul. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm just yapping, so let's go ahead and get started with the video.
Take me back. Take me back to that time. One good friend was in my life.
Hello, guys. It is the next day. I have just finished working out. If you guys can tell, I look horrible. I look disgusting. Don't mind me. I got a little bit of a reading update for you. I finished Last Night by Vari McFarlane, and I'm so stoked about that. I finally finished it. It took me 9 days. 9 days to complete the book. Yesterday, I decided to just force myself. I was not going to look at my phone. I set my phone in my room. I decided that I was going to let it go to 1%, and then I'm going to charge it, and then I'm going to leave it in my room, and I'm going to go downstairs, and I'm going to bring my iPad and read it on my Kindle app. And that really helped because now I'm done with the book. It feels like a really great accomplishment, to be honest. My initial thoughts on the book. I think last night I updated my Fable, and I think I rated it at like a 4.25 stars. But I think now that I'm thinking back to it, I think I'll have to bump it down to a 3.75 because I liked it, but it's just not my favorite because this book deals with a lot of heavy topics. If you guys already read the book or you guys have heard of things about this book, you guys know that this book talks heavily about grief and the process of grieving and the life after somebody you love passes away. And it was just so hard for me to get through because there was nothing pushing me to finish this book, because I had no expectations of how this book is gonna end. But I feel like it is a very, it's kind of slow paced for me when I first started the book, it was so hard for me to get through even just one page of the book because of how heavy it was talking about grief. And I know it's like my fault personally. I do know that's my fault. I just can't handle grief in books because I find books as a form of escapism and just a way for me to find happiness, I guess. But upon reading this book, I felt like I fell into a really hard time reading it. But now that I'm done reading this book, I can say for a fact that Vari McFarlane's writing style is very, very unique. And I think it takes some time to get used to it. Like, I needed some time to get used to this book, but after you go through like half of the book, you kind of catch on. So sometimes you don't catch it and within the first time you read it. So like I found myself have to like rereading a sentence like at least once or twice because like I couldn't catch what she meant. And it's just very different and very unique to her. And as I said, it really does take some time to get used to her writing style. But the more I read, the more I pushed myself to read her book, it feels like, okay, I'm getting used to her writing style and I'm actually liking it, you know? So it's very hard at first, but then like once you get used to it, you kind of understand. And came around loving her book. And I actually have another physical copy of her book, but I didn't know that this was a series. So on my shelf, I have You Belong With Me, and that is actually the sequel to one of her books that is Who's That Girl, I believe, or Who's This Girl? Something about a girl. But so I had to read that book first before I get into this book. So I don't know how that's gonna happen. Maybe I'll get it on Kindle as well as I got this one on Kindle. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. So I love the subplot of romance in this book. It was a very not, I wasn't expecting a romance, honestly. I didn't think there were going to be any romance subplot in this book, but we got a romance subplot and I actually liked it and I enjoyed it. And then one of the characters in this book that ends up with the female main character, I feel like he was one of the most multi-layered character ever, and I love the storyline. The depiction that they had for him in the beginning of the book really just captures how someone grieves and how someone you know, like someone has untold stories about their life. Appreciate that aspect of this book as well. I feel like this book has a very slow start but had a really satisfying ending to it. And I, for the first time in a very long time, I've never been one to read epilogues, but this book had this like epilogue for like 3 pages, I think 2 or 3 pages. I was like flipping through, I think 3 pages of it. I was flipping through it very fast, and I actually liked it because I was like, I feel like the ending, if I didn't read the epilogue, was very open-ended, and I just would love to see what happens next because this is standalone. So I just wanted to see the closing of the story, and so I decided to read the epilogue, and it was actually a really satisfying ending to the story. I wouldn't say that this is a very, very memorable book to me because, again, it deals with heavy topics within the whole entire book. Honestly, like the whole entire book revolves around grief and the grieving process and life after. It was a very hard topic, but I feel like the author did a really great job in writing this book and writing about the grieving process and all of that about grieving, and I think she did it really, really well. And yeah, it spoke to me in a way that I feel is very hard to get out in words, but this author actually made it possible to put it into words, and so I really, really admire that about her. And yeah, see, again, I said I don't think that this book is my favorite. Maybe I'll like other books by her, but I would have to check trigger warnings for this book, for the next books that I read by her.
Far away from me, from me, from me.
Hey guys, it's a couple of days later. As you guys can tell, probably I'm sick. I thought that for once I was not gonna get sick when other people are sick, but my body's just fragile and I'm sick now. As everybody else is getting better and they're slowly healing from their sickness. Mostly it's the flu and I thought I was not gonna catch it, but lo and behold I did. And today is day 2 of me being sick. And yesterday I decided to get a new book on Kindle, and I decided, as I said before, I thought that Vary McFarlane's book were very unique, and I love her writing style. It's just a little bit different than everybody else's. It needs a tad bit of brain power, and you gotta get used to it. But I'm slowly, really liking her writing style, and because of that, and because I was like so keen on her writing style from just last night, I decided to pick up a new book by her as well, and it is, what's it called? Don't You Forget About Me. I think this is more of an upper type of book. It's not as emotional as the last one that I read, so I think this one's going to be really great. And so far, I am 25% in. I'm on page 111 of 426 books. It's going really well. I'm liking it. And today is January 27th. Today is the 27th, and I have 4 more days to complete. I'm also slowly starting to really like literary fiction slash women's fiction. I think with this book, with two of Vary McFarlane's book, I feel like it's more towards women's fiction and more of a literary fiction route than it is a romance. It has a subplot of romance, but it's not all about the romance, which I'm slowly liking. And I think after this, a fantasy book would really do me some good. I think I'd love to, I don't know. In the back of my mind, I've just been really wanting to either read a Frida McFadden book, which I've never read any book by her. That's kind of that's kind of weird because everybody loves Frida McFadden and people have been talking about her books for the longest time, and I have not yet jumped to it. So I'm really thinking about like reading some thrillers or like mysteries at least. I know it kind of spooks me out sometimes, but I think reading it in the daytime would do me good. I don't think it'll scare me that much. But I am intrigued to read one of Frida McFadden's book. I feel like I'm very intrigued to read The Boyfriend by her, and I think I've seen it circulating a lot in Goodreads and on Fable, so that would be really fun to read. I'm sorry, the neighbors downstairs are going crazy. Okay. And 2 years ago in 2023, I believe, I read a book by Riley Sager, and I really liked that book. It was very fast paced, kept me on the edge of my toes, and I absolutely loved reading it. And it was very intriguing because of all of the twists and turns, and I love how he just went all in and nothing, like, I feel like it was just the right amount of pages. I'm thinking about either getting a Frida McFadden book next or another Riley Sager book, but I think I want to try a new author again, so we'll never know. And on the airplane is coming.
Guys, so it's a couple of days later. I feel like I'm regaining some strength back, and I feel like my left ear is kind of aching a tad bit when I start talking in a high volume. So I'm gonna keep it low because it kind of hurts my ears a little bit because of the flu. So, anyways, today I just got done taking a shower, doing my hair, tried to just make myself feel a little bit better, and so I have a dinner to go to tonight. Right now, I I feel like I sound so weird, so funny at the same time. But yesterday, because I really couldn't talk a lot, I just decided to make a little Instagram reel, which you guys already saw, I think, on my Instagram. That idea has been floating around in my head for a while now. I've been like rethinking about it. I've been like thinking about that the time when Kevin Hart reacted to One Direction's breakup, and it was just so funny. And I thought to myself, like, it reminds me of how I feel when a third act breakup happens in a book. So there's where the idea came from. Um, a little bit of reading update. I've been trying to read for the past couple of days. Still reading Don't You Forget About Me by Vary McFarlane. This book is about a girl who gets fired from her job and then she loses her boyfriend at the same exact day. And then In likely scenario, she somehow reunites with her ex, but her ex doesn't seem to remember who she is, and she somehow ends up being a worker for her ex. So I don't know what's gonna happen in here, but I feel like there's a second chance happening in this book because of that. But again, like I think this story really dives deep into talking about memories and like how good of a relationship you had with someone and the yeah, like things like that. Thinking about how to describe this book because I'm not that far in. I'm 150 pages in. I'm only 33% in the book, and I'm still trying to get used to her writing because her writing style is very, very unique, as I have already mentioned several times. But I really like learning different writing styles from different people around the world, and I actually am interested in reading Vari McFarlane's book. And yeah, as of for today's video, as I said, this is me testing out a new to me author, and so far this year, I think. Hold on. So for this year, I've had already two new authors that I've tried. First author that I tried reading was Sarah Adams. Never read one of her books before, which is crazy because she's one of the best writers in rom-coms, and I just picked up a book by her, which is her new release. I really enjoyed her writing, and then for this video purpose, I decided to pick up another new to me author, and that is Vari McFarlane. I've heard Haley Pham talk amazing things about her writing and her books, and she's given a lot of her books 5 stars. So I thought I might try it out, see if I like them. And so far, I think I'm liking it because I don't know what it is, but the different writing style, the uniqueness of her writing style really does give me this kind of like, I feel like I'm learning something, and I always just love a little challenge like that because it really does sharpen the brain, and I just like it. I don't know, there's just something so pleasing that happens in my head when I read different authors' ways of writing. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just a really satisfying experience for some reason. I don't know. But anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue reading this book for now. I have to leave in a couple of hours, so I'll see how much I can get through today. Hey guys, so kindly have to interrupt this video because my package from Bestie Amy just arrived, and she sent me a testing of her newest product for her new bookmarks that is launching next month. And it is the cutest, most efficient bookmark I've ever seen. And it is this cute little bookmark. So she sent me a pack of, I'm not so sure how many, I think there's 5 in here, and it just says reading list, and then down below it has the month that you can fill in, and then underneath it just has a couple of columns for the title and the rating of the books that you're currently reading. And it is just the cutest thing ever. I've seen this going around, and I just absolutely love this. And she wrote me a little note saying, "Hi Natasha, I hope you're well. I wanted to thank you for taking interest in testing out my product. I was inspired by a reading app and how we book lovers always keep tabs on our reading. And knowing that you enjoy journaling, I hope you can enjoy the experience of using our bookmarks too. I hope you love them. Love, Amy." This is this is really cute, and I'm definitely am going to be using this bookmark along with my other bookmark by her. So if you guys want to get this for my Jakarta girlies, for my Indonesia girlies, if you guys love to read and you're looking for a cute bookmark, definitely check out Bessie Amy's bookmark store. It is at bookmark.id. I'll have it floating on the screen for you, besties, and I'll also have it linked down below if you guys want to check that out because this is really cute. I'm definitely gonna get a lot of use out of this. So thank you so much. I'm so excited to use this. Thank you so much.
Made my first album. It came out the same day as Kanye's. I made my best single. Came out and felt so great.
Guess what? I just yapped for 20 minutes and my mic was never on because I had no battery in my mic. So take two. Hello guys, today is the last day of January. Today is the end of the month, and I have some updates for you guys. But first and foremost, yesterday I did not film even one clip because I was just not having it yesterday. I just was like in a mental spiral, and mood wise I was just not in the best mood. So yeah, I just decided to take the day off and not really force myself, because forcing myself just makes me burn out. So I just like decided just to take the day off, and here I am today. I am back. I've been quite productive this morning. I've been tackling some stuff. I also yesterday during this like whole mental breakdown thing, I decided like spontaneously decided to just, I spontaneously just decided to clean my room, and it honestly served me pretty well because I had a really great night's sleep last night. So that's really great. A positive outcome out of a bad mood. I just started deep cleaning my desk. This morning I started reading my Kindle again. I mean like continuing my current read that is on my Kindle. I am a little over halfway through the book. I still have a lot to go through. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it today. Maybe I will. Hopefully I will. Fingers crossed. Because right now I've been just, I don't know what it is, but I've been having this like urge to pick up Elsie Silver's Off to the Races, because that book is on my shelf and I got that for Christmas last year. I'm back. I don't know where I left off. Somebody was calling me on my phone, and yeah. Anyways, right now I am sipping on my tea. If you guys didn't know this already, I don't know if I've said this before, but I stopped drinking coffee, which is a, I don't know, it's like a big change for me, honestly. But it's been really great for me because I feel like I don't have as much stomach issues as I did when I was consuming coffee every single day, whether that be like sweet coffee, plain black coffee. It just hurts my stomach all the time. So I don't even know why I put myself through all of that suffering just because I really liked coffee. And so I just switched to tea now. Today's tea is just a plain old jasmine tea with some honey. That's really how I take my tea all the time. It's always piping hot, and I just let it sit down for a second, and then I'll just sip through it while I read my book or do something else. Mostly when I'm reading, because I love sipping my beverages while I'm reading. And as I was saying, I'm currently reading this book. I'm still working on it though. I'm only a little how what am I saying? I am more than halfway through the book, which is really great, but I didn't have, as I said, didn't really have a lot of mental energy to pick up my iPad yesterday, and I just didn't read until late at night. I started reading it until I fell asleep. So there's that. And this morning I updated my reading journal, but there's really not much that I did to my reading journal. I did some stuff like I stuck in a couple of pictures of the books that I read this year or this month, specifically this month, and that's really it. I just started doing that, and then I started writing down ideas for content for next month, and I really just haven't had a lot of, I don't know, the creative juices is just not working in my brain for some reason. I have this content creating slump for the longest time, and I hate it. I hate it because I'm right now I have all this time. I have all this time to create the content that I want, and I just don't even have anything creative going through. I do have one or two videos that I really want to film next month, so hopefully we'll get through that. But again, I'll have to make sure that I finish this book today. I honestly, thoughts on the book that I'm currently reading, because I am 57% through the book. I'm a little more than halfway through the book, okay? And it just kind of feels a little bit redundant because the female main character, she runs into trouble again and again, but it's also very comedic. The circumstances that happen sometimes is a bit comedic, and it kind of gets a laugh out of me sometimes, but then it kind of feels a little bit redundant, as I said, because she's running into mischief and trouble, but she's not the one causing the trouble. Other people are troubling her, so like, it's, I don't know, it's just like, it's just very messy. Like, I feel like it's messy in a way that, I don't know, because this book is a women's fiction. I feel like it's more of a women's fiction, not so much as a romance book, and I actually quite like it. I quite like it. As I said, I wanted to continue reading more books like this that are like contemporary romances or like women's fiction and so on. And I don't know, I think I do enjoy reading about it because it has a different plot line than regular romance book goes, which really does intrigue me and makes me want to turn the page a lot more faster than a romance book does. But right now it's just not doing it for me. So, and I really do want to finish off this book today because I've been having this urge, the biggest urge, to pick up Elsie Silver's Off to the Races. I have the book on my shelf and it's been staring at me for several days now, and I really want to just like start reading that book, like just start reading the book. But I just like want to take my time to just like concentrate in one book, and then we'll move on to the next book. So that's that. That's all. Oh, actually, I wanted to show you guys something. If you guys saw this on my Instagram, you probably already know what this is. So a couple of days ago, I went out with my mom and my sister, and we went to Pop Mart. If you guys know the Crybabies, they sell it in Pop Mart. And I got myself not a crybaby, but I got this really cute figurine, this really cute character. I don't know what this is. Maybe I think this is like a star character. And the name is Twinkle Twinkle, and it is the cutest thing ever. Literally, look at her. Look at her. She's playing a trumpet. She looks so cute. I just can't. She's so cute, and I just, I don't know. I fell in love with this figure, and I just want to buy more. This is like a blind box thing, and you have like nine other characters, eight other characters actually, but like there's a secret character, so like nine other characters, and I really want to get another one, and I just like want to get the collection of it, and I just want to collect them because they're so cute. So this one is called Happy Trumpeter, and my mom had the a big hug, and which is the one on the front. This is the one my mom got, and I really want her as well. And I just like want to put them on display in my bookshelf because I think that's really cute. So yeah, there's that. I'm literally obsessed with her. Like, she's so cute. She's adorable. I just love her so much. So there's that. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and continue reading my book. I'll probably put on Spotify for the background. Catch you guys later with more updates if I have some. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and read my book. Hey guys, so I wanted to give a little bit of reading update. I finally finished reading Don't You Forget About Me by Vary McFarlane, and I think it's safe to say that I finally found my favorite book of the month. I was very hesitant about this book because halfway through the book I was very confused as to where we're going, because it just seems like she's getting into a lot of trouble and a lot of mishaps and whatnot, and there are a lot of people who are like talking down on her, and she has issues, and she's like, just a lot of things happening to her. But towards 80% through the book, I finally read the parts where she finally has conclusion between resolution. I mean, there's a resolution between her and the male main character in the story, and something just like turns, it's like a 180 after a confession from the female main character in this story, and the male main character just turned a 180 and then starts saying all of these stuff to her, and it just like shifts everything between the two of them. And I guess it's a very satisfying in a way that I never thought it would. So all to say, I really think that I actually really enjoyed this book, although the getting to the 80% part was kind of hard for me, because again, her writing style really does need some getting used to, and then sometimes I get a bit confused and I have to like reread a few sentences and just like making sure that I read it right and what it means. But then once you get the sense of everything that's going on in the book, I started to get used to it, and then I just immediately just like fell in love with the story. Last night while I was reading this book, I really just didn't want to go to sleep because I wanted to continue this book and wanted to see what happens and just finish the entire book. But I was so sleepy and it was already midnight, so I decided to just continue it this morning and finish it off. And the ending was very satisfactory and I loved it. And I gave it a 4.5 stars, but we'll see if I decide to bump it up in the future, because all to say, I couldn't get enough of them, honestly. I'm still thinking about the characters, I'm still thinking about the ending that shocked me, honestly. And yeah, I think that's really all. But all to say, I really love Vary McFarlane's writing style, and I just ordered a book. So I got a new book. I bought Mad About You by Vary McFarlane, which a lot of people really like that book. I'm not so sure what it's about, I forget, but I've seen a lot of people really liking that book, so I think it'll be a safe bet for me. And so I ordered that through someone via Instagram. She was unhauling a couple of her books, and I saw that she had Mad About You by Vary McFarlane, and it was pretty cheap for a Vary McFarlane book, and you don't see that very often here, the physical copy of the book, I mean. So I just decided to make the jump and just get the book. So that's that. Right now, I'm currently reading Off to the Races by Elsie Silver, a very anticipated, not a new release, a very anticipated read that I wanted to start this month. So, oh yeah, happy February, everybody. Today is February 1st. So, yeah, I'm gonna start Off to the Races, and I will give more updates on another video sometime soon. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.